What's going on, everybody? You might be thinking, why have I got my rug pull hood up? Well, in today's video, we're taking a look at the top 3 rug pulls from this year and what you can do to try and avoid where possible. My name is Mike. Welcome back to the 2-Bit Crypto channel, where we talk about cryptocurrency every single day. So if you're not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Give it a thumbs up and let's take a look at some of these nasty projects. So rug pulls, they are the worst thing in the world. I think most people that are in decentralized finance have been a victim or been a part of or been on the receiving end of some sort of rug pull. But look, I thought this article was really interesting. So criminals have made off with over $10 billion in DeFi scams and thefts this year. I'm going to take a look at the top 3 and what they were. So before we get there, drop in the comments what you think the top 3 DeFi rug pull scams were this year. It talks here, look, investors lost billions of dollars to criminals targeting so-called decentralized finance. According to a report from London-based firm Elliptic, more than $10 billion worth of funds have been stolen in cases of fraud and theft on decentralized products, which aim to replicate traditional finance services using blockchain technology. Now, look, we have seen a few on this channel. We've covered Suzuki rug pull that went down. Look, they are at this moment in time a part of decentralized finance. I think it will be there for a long time, the same as scams are in the world nowadays. I guess the bit is, what do we do to protect ourselves and how can we best arm ourselves against some of these scams? Here's the really interesting bit though. It's expected that a young industry like crypto, DeFis aren't regulated. It's something regulators have tried to come to grips with recently amid a spate of major hacks and scams. Overall losses caused by DeFi exploits a total of $12 billion. And here's the thing with any big scam, any big problem, it attracts the wrong attention. It attracts kind of governance and it attracts people that want to kind of legislate and control this decentralized finance. So it's attracting large amounts of capital to projects that are not always robust or well tested. Criminal actors have seen the opportunity to exploit this. So here's a couple of things I think you should always look at, and certainly projects when I look at investing, I like to kind of do first. So I want to see a doxed team. I want to know who is taking my money. I want to know what they're going to do with it. And ultimately, I want to put a name to the face. It feels to me like there's a bit more accountability to that individual if their face is put to the project. And equally, if they aren't, you've got to ask yourself the question, why not? I like to see a renounced contract. I think it's important that the development team don't have control over the contract, and equally there isn't a mechanism where they can set their own price. So we did see the Squid Game rug pull, which was built into the code that people couldn't sell. So they're 2 things that are really important. I want to know that there's a use case for that product. And we know that some of the best tokens around the market today were started as a meme or that was started as a community token and have grown into it. But I think more than ever now, there has to be a use case. There has to be a purpose for that token to be around. And finally, I want to see what the supply is and I want to see what the mechanism around that supply is. So if the supply is huge, is there a deflationary mechanism to it? What are the tokenomics look like? And does that value or that amount of tokens get smaller over time? They're kind of 4 things I look at initially before I get into a token. Now, look, with ever DeFi and, you know, this whole crypto world, everything is based upon your due diligence and do what you do. Never take the word of a YouTuber or anyone else. Even financial advisors, don't take their word on it. You have to be really comfortable with what you're investing in and that your hard-earned money, you are happy to do that. Just when we finish this article off, this bit at the bottom here that I did want to just talk about, regulators are growing concerned about the rapid rise of DeFi. The Security and Exchanges Commission is seeking information from Uniswap Labs, the startup behind decentralized crypto exchange and the same name, and the investors use the platform the way in which it's marketed. So we know that Uniswap is the biggest decentralized exchange that we have. Every token more or less launches on DeFi with Uniswap. So it's interesting that the Securities and Exchange Commission want to talk to them. Let's hope that it's just to understand it. And I think ultimately Uniswap just are a facilitator of transactions as opposed to a regulator or anything to do with decentralized space. It just so happens that they are the biggest player in the market. So let's take a look at the top 3 rug pulls of 2021. Make sure you have put in the comments below what you think the top 3 are. So over the year, several projects have resulted in rug pulls and have entered the market showing promise. Some projects have been backed by known entities, which ended up being Rugpulls. Obviously, we know there's a couple of ways tokens can Rugpulls: selling marketing wallets, pulling liquidity out, which is why it's important that you check that the liquidity is locked for a fixed period of time. And also the contracts then have a built-in code that you can't sell it. So let's see the top 3 Rugpulls of 2021. We have Anubis DAO, which was $60 million in October the 28th, a fork of the Olympus DAO, which obviously is still out there, and acts as a currency of decentralized finance. Although there was no platform, investors poured over $60 million into the ICO, which would reward them with ANKH tokens. With the sale reaching 20 hours, someone transferred all the liquidity into the pool to an entirely different wallet. According to investors, many though the token would get the mainstream adoption, other dog-inspired tokens have been getting. So they, just pulled every bit of liquidity out, nearly 1,000 in Ethereum, and ran away with it. So $60 million. The second one, Meerkat Finance, $31 million. Now, what they claimed that there was a hack on their token and that their wallets were breached, and that 13 million in BUSD was moved out and 17 million in BNB. But then everything went quiet. I would say that Stealth Token is one of those at the minute that I think people are still on the fence. What I would say is the Stealth Token team are coming out and are kind of talking to influencers and YouTubers alike to try and rectify it. But Meerkat Finance, 31 million. And finally, Turtle DEX at 2.4 million. Now, interestingly, I don't know what the Suzuki rug pull was. I don't have a total number for that. Anyone does, just drop it in the comments down below. But Total DX entered the Binance Smart Chain on March 15th, saying it provides users access to secure storage to store data online in the pre-sale. Raised 2.4 million, and within 2 hours, just 5 days after the launch, it took place. The developers platform rug pulled the investors. So, nearly $100 million just on 3 projects. So this is a huge thing. And then finally, wouldn't be remiss, the $2 million Squid token, which obviously we've talked about this on the channel, but built into the contract where you couldn't run away. So it's a Wild West game out there, guys, and there's a lot of risk involved in decentralized finance. However, it is still the greatest movement of our lifetime and the greatest potential of financial freedom. You've just got to be really comfortable that you are doing everything you can to make sure that you make the best decisions for your money. And again, the best piece of advice ever given to me was don't invest what you cannot afford to lose. I think it's important. And we have to strike this balance between decentralized finance and regulation, and I think the two things don't quite go hand in hand. So one thing that is harder than ever in decentralized finance sector is to spot a fraudulent account. You should endeavor to be vigilant and not get carried away by most projects that look too good to be true. One thing, to conduct deep research on projects, tokens, and anything new in DeFi sector before you decide to go all in. I think even that, just don't go all in. Although most scammers and hackers can master activities and defraud people, deep research will expose and help traders in the market. So let me know down below what you think. What are the things you look at in tokens to make sure that you try and avoid getting rug pulled? And I'm going to see you guys in the next one.